Hello again, it's James from JRTBs. Today is April the 25th and it's about 55 degrees, sun's out, bees are flying. I haven't made a video in a while. We really had a rough March. It started out warm and all the bees were brooding up and I unwrapped everything. But and then it just got cold and miserable and wet, and the maple trees started to bloom and they started bringing in that pollen. And then most of March into April it was just so cold and rainy and windy. There was a few days they could get out, but most of the time they were stuck home eating honey and raising brood. So I think it was about 2 weeks ago I noticed one of the colonies had just a whole bunch of dead bees on the front entrance. It was all clogged up, so I took a look at it, and that one unfortunately was dead. There was a big colony, probably all of 25-30,000 bees. There were 7 brood frames in there and not a drop of honey, so they definitely starved out because of the weather that we've been having. So I went right to the store, I bought 80 pounds of sugar, and I put top feeders on every colony, and I gave every colony almost 2 gallons of 1-to-1 sugar syrup, and that was about 2 weeks ago. All I've done since then, they took that down, and then it finally got warm, and it just basically the switch just turned on, the spring switch. And with that sugar water help and the warmer weathers in spring, it's just it's going berserk now. So the only thing I did was quickly tilt the boxes up to look for swarm cells, and then I added a super, and some of the really big ones I've added 2 supers. It's all drawn comb to try to give them space to help prevent the swarming. But I really haven't even done like full inspections on most of these colonies yet. It's just been a weird spring, weird cold weather. But now, it's completely on. I came home a few days ago, like 2:30, to grab some tools, and there was a humongous swarm right over there in the apple tree. Huge, and I was working on a big job, and I had to get back. There was nothing I could do at that time, and by the time I came home they were gone. So I don't know which one they came out of, but so that was the 22nd of April. That's the earliest swarm I've ever had. Normally the first swarms are like that first week in May, so that was unexpected. And again, it's just because they've been really brooding up for a month but not been able to do anything, and then all of a sudden it got warm, and literally, like, the dandelions, one day they weren't there and the next day everyone's lawn is covered with them. It's not like they slowly kind of worked their way out. It was like a switch flipped and all the dandelions were out. And there's lilacs, and the apple trees are starting to bloom now, and the red buds, definitely the dandelions. The autumn olive is right around the corner, and that's like the really big one. The autumn olive, it's everywhere. It's an invasive bush, but the bees love it, and it makes that really nice spring light honey. But anyway, they're on the verge of swarming, so I have to start going through these bigger colonies and doing something to try to control the swarming, because I don't want to lose any more bees, and I don't want bees going into any of my neighbors' houses or barns or anything like that. So I'm going to take you through the way I like to split. Because I do all the single deeps, and coming out of winter there's no queen excluders in here, and the queen has full access to all 3. So let's just get in, and I'll walk you through what I do. Yep, there's bees up on the top. And these are, so it's the deep and then the medium that they overwinter in. And I mean, they were really bubbling out of the top, so I put the other one on there a little over a week ago after I took off the sugar that I fed them. Gotta relight the smoker real quick. I had it lit. Okay, that always happens when you don't want it to. Yeah, there's a lot of bees. Now the queen could be anywhere, so I always check. I always check under the lid. And I don't see any queen on there. Now I'm just going to take these supers right off, even though the queen could be up here. But I like to start at the bottom. And there's definitely some weight. That was empty when I put it on there, so I think there's definitely some nectar coming in. Some drone brood there on top. So that means that the queen has been up in that top super. This one's got some weight as well. Okay, there's definitely a lot of bees. Seeing drones. The smoker is not working too well today. Alright. So this box is really light, so they're definitely moving the honey up. But this is the first time in here this year, this season. They're really packed in there. There's all fresh pollen, and I'm always looking for the queen, and ultimately that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for queen cells, swarm cells, and I'm looking for the queen. There's lots of drones, so the drones have been hatching. Set that down. Watch out, girls. I'm not too happy today. The smoker's not too happy either. Okay, watch out, girls. There's some brood. brood. There's some larvae. I'm also looking for eggs just to see if the queen's close or been here close. I see some young larvae, but I don't see eggs. Check this side again for the queen. This is last year's queen, so she should be marked red. Yeah, I got some bees buzzing me. Yeah, I don't see any eggs. It's not that warm yet, so I'm gonna keep that brood frame in there. And the smoker. I'll have to relight this again. Sorry about that. I think I got it. All right. This is all brood. Open larva. There's some eggs there. So there's some new eggs. So the queen has been here relatively soon, or not long ago anyway. This one's got a little bit more weight to it. More brood, lots of drone brood on the bottom. Not seeing any swarm cells yet. This is all brood. Looking for that queen. There's eggs. So the queen is around here somewhere. She could definitely be in one of those supers as well. Another brood frame. That's 4 brood frames. These Italians, they just they come out of winter and they just are relentless making brood. This is all eggs. Don't see the queen yet. Don't see any queen cells yet either. All the queen cells could be in the super up above. Yeah, the bees aren't so happy today. It's Not as warm. There's more bees home right now. More brood. Look at that sheet of brood. And they got nectar in there mixed in with the brood that they're probably just bringing in and putting it there quick before they move it up. And there's all eggs and larvae there. Capped brood. Surprised this is a big colony. Surprised we haven't seen any swarm cells yet. More brood. No swarm cells. Look at that brood. Just a sheet of brood there. No queen. So just because they don't have swarm cells down here doesn't mean that they're good. They can build those swarm cells really fast, and by next week you want them to swarm. I mean, there's nothing but brood down here, and I don't even have a queen excluder on here or anything. More brood and drones. Drones is always a dead giveaway for wanting to swarm. Wow. Let's see the queen. There's a lot of bees. And 2 frames left. I have found queens on very last frames before. She could also ran down onto the slatted rack, for all I know. This is a heavier frame. So there's a cup on this side. On the side of the frame. We'll check that out in a minute. I want to check for the queen. Look at all the bees. Jeez. Another brood frame. Don't see the queen. Let me see if there's anything in this cup. Yes, there's an egg. I don't know if you could see that. There's an egg in that cup. So once I put an egg in there, then it's a swarm cell. But she must have just laid it there. Don't see her. Might as well check that last frame. Don't see her. They're drawing this one out. Got some nectar in there. Pollen. Alright. I'm going to clean some of this propolis off while I have it open. Yeah, this colony is not too happy. Okay. So there's no queen cells down there, and I did not see the queen. So this does get could be a lengthy process. I want to get this put back together for now. Might have to come back in here. Let me get them put back. Make some room here on the sides. Clean this propolis off. Very flighty colony this one is. Okay. Check this frame again. That's happened to me before. I set the one down and if the queen was on it, I just didn't see her. I mean, I could have missed the queen too. She could be in there. I don't see her. Okay. All right. That's pretty much a box full of brood. Clean this drone stuff off. Put this back on the top, the inner cover, just to kind of keep them quiet, hopefully. Now, bear with me, gotta lower you down. Yep. Not too happy. Okay. So now I'm gonna have to go through. This super was the one right over the brood. So maybe I'll get lucky and find the queen here and maybe some nice swarm cells. Pollen. There's some brood. Some brood. There's a cup. Nothing in it. There's another cup at the bottom, nothing in it. I'm gonna take two out. We're setting the sun there, so it'll stay warm. There's no wind today, which is nice. Brood, capped brood. I'm looking for eggs too to see if the queen has been up here recently. I'm seeing larvae, but I don't see any eggs. There's the queen cells. You see them along the bottom there? And there's the queen. And she's got a little bit of red left on her. I don't know if you could see her there. See her right there? She has a little bit of red. So they chewed off her red from last year. I'm gonna get her now and mark her. Okay, got her in there. She's still pretty plump, but she's fast moving. Okay, so you got the queen in there, remarked red from last year. I'm gonna set her over here in the sun, and we'll take a look at those queen cells. There's quite a few, nothing capped yet. I'm gonna set this back in and use a marker. Just put a C for cells, and we'll check the rest of these. I'm hoping to find a nice capped cell if I can. Nothing. That brood. There's a couple cells there. Let me get rid of those. There's only 2 on there. So it looks like they weren't real far along in the swarming process, because I don't see any capped cells. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cells right there. You see them at the bottom. Okay, so there's 5 on that one. There's probably 6 on the other one. I'm going to mark that one. Just want to go through all these and check. No cells there. Lots of brood. There's a cell right here, a little cell. I'm gonna just take that one out. Got royal jelly, a little larva in it. If I use a cell to make a split, I'm gonna use one of the further along cells. That's elongated and got a good larva in it. Okay, nectar. Just want to take a look at this last frame, might as well. Nectar, lots of new fresh nectar, which is good. Do a little housekeeping while I'm here. So much propolis. Okay, let me look at this one again. It's got some cells, and I don't know, but I wouldn't imagine shaking the frames with the cells would be a good idea. But you can see this one here. They're starting to really elongate it. There's definitely a nice pile of of royal jelly in there. This one here is empty. I'm gonna get rid of that one. This one, it looks like it might have got a little damaged, so I'm gonna get rid of that one. And these two are kind of small, so I'm gonna leave a good one right there. Almost got stung. Carefully put that one back. Make sure I have this labeled nice, so if I come back in here to check on them. So that one's got a cell. Trying to move these over. So much propolis. These don't have cells. And then this one had a bunch of cells. And when I do splits like this with swarm cells, you can see them all here. I like to leave two or three. So I'm going to get rid of these little ones here. This one looks a little damaged. This is like a double. Get rid of that one. There's some small ones here. Small ones here. Get rid of all them. I mean, look at them all. There's probably more than a dozen on here. Get rid of that one. Another small one over here. There's a small one here. There. So now this one looks like I might have crushed it a little. So there's you can see there's one there. Looks nice. And there's one there that looks really nice. So I'm going to leave those two. Okay. So now there's 3 cells in here. Brood. Need to clean off some of this propolis here. Okay. Put all the brood back together. On that one. This takes time. Sorry about the long video. This colony is going to swarm. If you don't do something, they're going to definitely swarm. There's swarm cells in there. You could make a split, knock them back, break them in half. You know, that there's so many different ways. I'm not telling you this is the right way. This is just how I like to do it. I like using the swarm cells because they made it. I mean, right from the beginning, once the egg was laid, they knew it was going to be a queen. They're all, you know, made to be queens. So I think they are probably the best cells, rather than having an emergency cell where they have to take a worker egg and turn that into a queen. Sorry, I'm just trying to get you repositioned here. So yeah, I like to use the swarm cells to make my splits. So now, let's see all the bees in here. Something needs to be done. So now, I've got my queen. Marked her red. Now I want to go back in here, find some of those frames that were just sheets of brood. He's got a lot of drones. So many bees. Yeah, so that would be a good one. I'll take you with me. I got a nuke set up over here. Caught in the fence. Man, it's hard adjusting this tripod constantly. So I got a 5-frame nuke set up. I got one frame here. It's a pollen frame. So we're going to put in this frame of brood. These are just heavily waxed. New foundation. So there's one brood. Let's see. Yeah, this next one looks like it's lots of brood. Watch out, girls. They're probably mad now. They have no queen. There's brood. That's a nice brood one there. They're all over you guys. Alright. So we got 2 broods. That's going to turn into lots of bees. I'm not going to take you back, but I'm going to get another frame full of bees. Yeah, that colony probably would have swarmed. Within 5 days, those cells would be capped. There's so many bees. So I'm going to shake this right in. We'll give them as many bees as we can. Another shake. Okay. Give them another empty frame. Build a space. center everything up. And here is the remarked queen. Make sure she's still red. Yep, she's got a good mark on her. So if we can get her to go in there. Sometimes it takes them a little while to come out. I want her to call up my hand and fly away. Come on, girl. I don't know what they're doing to her. There, I can see her abdomen. Come on. Let's see. I don't know what she's doing. She doesn't want to go into her new home. Open it up all the way. Where the heck is she? I can't tell if she's in there or not. Yeah, I see her. She's in there. She's still in there. I'm going to push the plunger down and see if I can get her to come out. There she is. You can see her sit. She's just sitting there. Come on. There she goes. Finally. All right. So, watch out, ladies. So I already have this nuke is already spoken for. I'll let them start building up a little bit. I'll have to give them some sugar water. Okay. Now let's go back to the mother colony. So I'm going to drop in some new frames right in the middle. Give them something to do. They're not too happy with me. Put all this back together. So now they got no queen down there. They've got eggs, but they have there's three queen cells I left. So now this is the super with the queen cells. So now they got two queen cells there. I'm going to take a look underneath. This was that top super. Just want to see if they have any queen cells up this high. and they do. I don't know if you can see them, but there's one there. I've already left them 3, so I don't want to leave any more. You can have little virgin queen swarms, which could still happen, leaving, just leaving a couple. They could both come out at the same time, and they can take off with a little swarm. But those little virgin queen swarms, they're nothing like that overwintered queen taking off with half your hive. I could handle a little virgin queen swarm or 2. It's not going to be too much of an issue. Most of the times, what I've seen anyway, doing it like this, they seem to sort it out. So now, what I want to do, I'm going to grab a queen excluder. I'm going to put a queen excluder on here now. And then put this super back on. And any brood that's up here, it'll all hatch out, and they'll have a place to put honey while they make this new queen, which I think is the just the way I like to do it. It seems to work really well. I think I had one last year. It turned into a laying worker, but I don't remember how I split it. I don't think I split it. I think the queen just died. But I've had pretty good success doing it this way. And now I really don't have, this hive can't swarm. I took the queen out. So there's not going to be a giant swarm coming out of this colony. And in like a week or 2, I'll go back in here and I'll make another video, but I'll find the new queen marker. I think it's possibly blue for this year, blue or green, and I'll move her down, and I'll move the queen excluder down and push her in the bottom only, and that's it. They'll just make honey, because by then we'll have the honey flow on, and yeah, that's how I do it. And then I've got a lot of other colonies here that I got to do the same thing, and it's very time consuming, but I find it to be very effective. There's so many bees in here now that they while they're waiting for the queen to come back, they'll make room for her to lay, and they'll just collect honey and make honey, and you'll have a lot of honey to harvest. Get them closed up. Okay. So that's how I do it. Let's go see a little nuke. There's a few coming out of the entrance. But yeah, that's a little colony now. They got a queen. They got 2 big frames of brood ready to hatch. They'll start right away flying and collecting some nectar. There's plenty of stuff out there now to get. And I might just put I'll put a mason jar feeder on them for just to get them going. But yeah, that's how I do it. I don't know which one of these swarmed the other day. I think it was number 6 possibly. This one I could tell there was a lot of activity in the front, but yeah, well, hopefully you guys are having good luck with your bees and you're not losing too many swarms. All right, I will try to make some follow-up videos and see how it goes. All right, good luck with your bees.